This is the Utah High School Hoops Podcast, your source for sometimes informative, but always entertaining coverage of the Utah High School Hoops scene. With your host, Adam Peak. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Utah High School Hoops Podcast. Please make sure to go and share and subscribe over at utahbasketball.net, or you can subscribe on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. Busy day last night. I'm really bad at posting the scoreboard stuff. Candidly, if you want to know who's winning, just download the Deseret News Sports app on your phone, and you'll get the same information that everybody else gets. Maybe you just want to go into Instagram. I'm not exactly sure, but you can do that. It's just a lot. And AJ over at Utah Ballers will tell you the same thing. It's a lot to just keep up to date. So it's easier for me to take 20 minutes, 30 minutes and go through everything. And I'll try to do this with a little bit more regularity, but there was a lot to cover last night. And so I'm going to introduce this with a new segment on here. It is the Relight Scoreboard Recap. Here we go. All right, that was fun. Let's get into this here. We are going to go through, hang on, I got to get to here we go. We're going to go through some scores from last night. I'm going to talk about there was an upset, I think we could call it an upset, and also the game and performers of the week were both, or the day were both in the same game. So let's go through the scoreboard here. I think no surprise, Cypress takes care of Taylorsville here at the top, 85-66. And click here to the stats. I want to say that Beckham Bales hit like 7 threes in this game. Is that right? Let's see. There it is. Yeah. Beckham with 25 points, 7 threes. Cypress was absolutely cooking from 3. We got 12, 13, 15. If you're ever wondering, when am I going to use math when I'm a grown-up? Well, it's when you host the Utah High School Hoops podcast. But so these guys have 15 threes that they hit in the game. And Cypress beats Taylorsville. We got Kearns just absolutely dismantles Granger 81-44. Let's see who played well in this game for Kearns. We've got Hayden Pentico and Isaiah Cruz with 55 points, and Hayden hit 7 3. So back-to-back games with 7 3-pointers hit. I was at this Juan Diego West Jordan game. West Jordan, after a rough start to the game, competed a lot with Juan Diego. Just wasn't enough. They cut this lead to, I think it was 11 or 12 in the early in the fourth quarter, and then Luke Meyer had a big 3-point play. Luke Meyer leads Juan Diego in scoring with 21 points. I don't know. He had a lot of rebounds as well. Him and the big guy, Hunter Chamberlain, were too much. Stockton Young continues his great play for West Jordan. Jacob Smith, Ian McIntyre, and Dodger Denning, all in double digits. Brighton at West. Closer game than I think maybe some people expected, but West is a team that has some pretty good guard play. They can get hot, but Brighton gets the win 56-53 on the road at West. West looks like they had a pretty good fourth quarter rally. I'm guessing it was a close game at the end if it was only a 3-point game. Eli, shout out to the head coach at West or whoever it was, or at Brighton. Somebody put in all the stats. So good work. Eli Albertson, 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And Brighton is led by Jackson Soto, 15 points, 5 rebounds, double-double for Josh Mawini, 14 points and 13 rebounds. Bradley Easton contributes with 10 points. A game that I talked about on a podcast earlier. I had picked Highland to win this game. Look at that first quarter score. Highland holds Olympus to 2 points, but I'm guessing they're kicking themselves. They couldn't extend that lead, right? 6-2 in the first quarter is extremely low scoring. Looks like James Edward, who's a tremendous writer for Deseret News, wrote an article about this game. 46-45, Olympus with the win. At Highland, big time win for the Titans. Alta Skyline. This was a game that I said I'll take Skyline in. Alta is a team that is in my top 5. They have played really well. Like I mentioned, though, I said which team is going to show up, and you can see here, Alta has a 7-point lead going into halftime. So at home, they had a 7-point deficit against East and then turned it on. Well, this time in the second half, they get outscored 32-17 and lose the game by 8 points. Let's see who played well here. This is a very, very good win for Skyline. David Rasmussen with 17, Cam Wilson with 13, James Becker with 11, Itai Lustgarden and Andrew Lindquist both kick in 7 points. Zach Papke with 12, Dash Reiser with 10. That was not enough for the Alta Hawks to get the win in that game. We'll keep going down here. Uinta and Mountain View had a couple of really, really special individual performances in this game. Uinta that's a tough team. They get the win to move to 10-3. They beat Mountain View 69-59. Dawson Gardner with 27 and Brennan Olson with 24 in the loss for Mountain View. Really, really good game. I'm going to come back to this Timpanogos Provo game because that is my game of the week. Let's keep going here. Cottonwood beats up on Tooele 65-50. Hillcrest over the Jordan Beat Diggers 71-51. Let's see. Let's just give some people. Let's see what happened here. We've got. Let's see. John Rosevere. I think he just hit the 1,000-point club. I want to say maybe it was in this game. I'm not sure. With 22 points. Luca with 15, and then Luke Park with 12. Tooele is led by Mason Heap, hit 5 3-pointers and has 17 points. Jordan and Hillcrest. Oh, that Murray Stansbury game. Look at that. That's a close one. Jordan and Hillcrest. Anton Mahler and Miles Mahler with 28 points combined to lead Hillcrest. Jackson Osler with 13 for the Beat Diggers. Murray and Stansbury. Murray, I talked about them as well. They are, I believe, they're back and fully healthy. Let's take a look here. Yep, they got all their guys. Austin Patterson with 19, Isaiah Bay with 19. As Murray with a 3-point win on the road at Stansbury. Good. Anytime you can get a win on the road, it's a good win. Rockwell beats up on Freedom Prep Academy. APA West Valley does the same to Utah Military Camp Williams. Intermountain Christian with a 5-point win over Utah Military Hillfield. Let's see if I coached a bunch of these guys up there who played well. Knox Westonskow with 31 points, followed by Noah. This should be Noah Hilliker with 29. Knox, I've mentioned him before. He is an absolute baller. Even though he's at a small school, 2A Intermountain Christian School, but shout out to Knox and Noah. 60 points combined between the two of them. Salt Lake Academy loses to Merritt Academy. Green River defeats Pinnacle. And let's see, we got the Penguich Bobcats over Bryce Valley. Some non-region scores. Cedar Valley beats Mountain Ridge 72-62. Will Lindsay at Mountain Ridge with 20. We got a double-double. Wow, look at the stat sheet for Owen. Owen Bodden with 17 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, 1 steal. Just a stat sheet stuffer. Great game for Owen and Cedar Valley. Hunter at Springville. 10-point game, right? And it was a 5-point game going into this game was tied at half, right? Springville has a 5-point lead at home against Hunter. What's going on? I mean, you got the win, right? Springville gets the win. but it's not super convincing. Let's see, we got Jamin with 21, Andrew Miller with 17, Swift with 16, Mason with 10. That's the big four there, and they're capable of winning a lot of games. Dominic, look at this. They got 9 threes out of Hunter. Dominic with 22, Keaton Miller with 21. So good effort from the Wolverines, but ultimately Springville wins. The Buckaroos down in Monticello beat up on Dolores. Wasatch Academy. Common mistake. The Wasps of Wasatch beat Summit Academy 72-33. Nate Hinckley, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Great game for Nate. I'm curious. Let's see if that's is this a career high for Nate Hinckley? It's at least a season. Yeah, career high for Nate Hinckley against Summit Academy, following up on his 20-point win. So great work here from the 6'1" junior for the Wasatch Wasps. Wow, I'm struggling. Ike Mitchell was at Judge last year with 3 rebounds and an assist. Shout out to Ike. His family's great. I talked about this game, LCA at Payson. I thought it was going to be a win. It looks like this game was in the first half. What do we got here? 53-22 at halftime. So LCA makes quick work at Payson, and I think it was expected. I talked about the game as a potential upset because LCA had been on the road for a while. Payson had a good record, but LCA is just they're a big, strong, physical, athletic team, and put up 73 points. I also talked about the Timpview American Heritage game, and this was a benchmark for American Heritage. I want to say Dean went for 30 in this one. Let's see. Yeah, 30 points on 4 3-pointers for Dean Ruckert. Lincoln Holcomb, who's a very impressive guard, had 16, along with Asa at 16. So this game did not surprise me, but I did say that Mana Wintana was capable of doing a lot of things on the basketball court, and he had 20 points. James Madsen with 15. The 3-point shot is going to keep American Heritage in a lot of games, whether it's against one of the best teams in the state or in the 3A state tournament. They're going to be a team to watch out for. Keep going here. Copper Hills defeats Syracuse on the road, 79-69. Pretty high scoring game. Riverton over Fremont, 62-57. So when I talked about the Murray win at Riverton, and I said Riverton's a good team, so is Fremont. This is a good win. It's a really good win for Riverton at home. Lehigh beat Salem Hills 63-41. Corner Canyon is another game I talked about this week. Corner Canyon in a close win beats Lone Peak 65-62. Let's go through here some stats. Noah Benninger at 24 points. Brighton Valdez, 14. Josh Tolman at 13. He is a freshman and is playing exceptionally well. So 13 points. Lone Peak is led by Crew Fotheringham, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Austin Simon had 12. Jack Taylor at 11. So balanced scoring attack for Lone Peak, but at the end, it was not quite enough for them to get the win on the road at Corner Canyon. Though if there's such a thing as a good loss, I guess a 3-point loss on the road would qualify as that. Weber continues to roll. They absolutely annihilate Logan 74-47. Luke Bingham, I think, had 20 something in this game. Exactly 20 points for Luke Bingham, and Ryder Howe with 15. So Weber keeps it going. I talked about Layton and Skyridge, and I said I thought this was a sneaky good game, and one that I thought Skyridge could snag. They end up with a 4-point loss with a valiant comeback. They're down 12 going into the fourth quarter of that game. Layton ends up with a 70-point win. Carter Miller continues his good play, 21 points. Chase Randall, 17. Sam Romer with 11. Skyridge is going to be led by Jordan Kohler, I think, in scoring almost every game. And Joel Gardner kicks in with 14 points. Just wasn't quite enough, but puts them, kind of squarely on the map. South Summit, the leading scorer in the state, is there. They beat Park City. Let's see how Logan did. Logan continues 20 points, probably had another double-double. He's leading the state in points, and I want to say rebounds as well. So South Summit with the victory over Park City. We got North Summit beating Millard 67-29. Milford gets a win 60-29. American Fork at Bingham. I told y'all I was a little nervous about picking Bingham in this one. 54-52 for the Cavemen. This was my runner-up for the game of the night. I said you throw the records out. If you remember, I said you got to throw the records out. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. They did get Bryce Mella back, it looks like. And so despite a vicious comeback, 20-9 in the fourth quarter for Bingham at home, American Fork gets the win. So we got Parker Snedeker with 13, Aiden Larson with 13, Luke West, one of their leading scorers with 5 points. So good job by the American Fork defense to keep him in check. But look at this. Bryce comes in with 16, Jax Clark with 16, Bridger Burnside with 8, Jax Euler with 6. So big win for American Fork. They're sitting at 3-10. Bingham is now at 10-3. But when it's a game like that, you look at the records and you throw them out the window. Okay, so let's go up here, and I want to talk about this Timpanogos Provo game. Scroll. Where did you go? There it is. So here's a region game. This thing goes into double overtime. Timpanogos is fresh off of some very difficult games in Phoenix. I picked Provo in this one because I thought there's probably going to be some lingering tiredness, exhaustion. Certainly at home going into double overtime, you would have thought, yeah, that's definitely the case, right? This is for sure going to happen. And it did not disappoint. I wasn't at the game, so you guys can chime in if you were down there in Provo watching this game. But two exceptionally good teams go at it. Timpanogos gets the early region win on the road in double overtime, 89-84. And there were some incredibly special individual performances in this game. So let's start here with the home team. Makai Allen, who I mentioned, is playing really good basketball. 34 points, 5 threes. Lucas Castagnetto with 21 points on 7 3-pointers. They hit 12 threes between the two of them. Just exceptional, incredible shot making between those two guys. They also get double digits from Garrig Orchard and Crew DiMartini for Provo. And then Timpanogos, look at this. Jackson. So think about the shot making here. Jackson McQuiston hits 7. Makai Allen hits 5. Jack Johnson, Gavin Messmer, and Cooper Harris, they hit 6 combined. Lucas has 7. So you have 12. You have 25 made threes in this game. That is some tremendous shooting happening. Jackson with 32 points and on 7 3-pointers. He is both him and Makai, I think, are two of the more maybe underrated. Maybe they're becoming more rated. I don't mean like on the Prep Hoops rankings. I just mean like players who are capable of going out and winning games. I think those two are absolutely two players that can go compete. And when you're talking about 4A and you're looking at a tournament and it's a single elimination tournament, who knows? I mean, could Provo beat Green Canyon? Yeah. Could Timpanogos beat Green Canyon? They absolutely can. They're showing now that they can go shot for shot with a guy like Jude Haig, right? Like they can do it. They can compete. They can score. They showed it in this game. So shout out to both teams in this one. I'm sure. I'm guessing they play. Let's see when they play each other at Timpanogos. We'll go in here to their schedule. Going down here. Bear with me as I scroll. Oh, look at that. It's coming up here on January 14th. So quick turnaround for those two teams. January 14th. Oh, no, that's Payson. I'm sorry. That's Payson. That's not Provo. Wow. I saw the P and I got all. Here we go. January 24th, which, by the way, that Payson at Timpanogos game is going to be a great game as well. But Provo on January 24th at Timpanogos. We got Timpanogos going up to Layton Christian. a couple days before that game. So they will be freshly challenged and ready to roll. So there's a quick scoreboard recap for you. I did it in 20 minutes. This would have taken me a lot longer to type out on, on Instagram. So thanks everybody for tuning in to this episode. Remember, you can use code PEAK15 and get 15% off over at redmond.life if you want to try some Relight rehydration drinks. They're tremendous. It's a great powder. You can also go check out the Training Zone if you're down in Harriman. That has been an awesome blessing for so many players to be able to go set up your shooting gun, get some shots up. You can follow them on Instagram. I think you get 5 free days there. So go try it out. You can always get better. You can always control your nutrition. You can always control your shooting. So go check out both of those organizations. Help support the podcast. Thanks, everybody.